still as tender as the day they were born, because they have acclimated themselves to his backyard. Now, if you take that same, and he'll share those seeds with you people, and you take it to your house, are you going to get the same thing? No. But you have the genetic ability to. 3, 4, 5 years, you can modify that to your backyard. That's where you get the term heirloom vegetable. Old-fashioned open pollinated vegetable, where you can collect the seed from a good healthy plant, a good healthy fruit, collect those seeds, clean them off, replant it, and over a couple of generations, that plant will acclimatize itself to your growing condition. And then, if Mother Nature is helpful, you'll have the best crop you could possibly have out of that plant. If we're talking about tomatoes, some years yes, some years no. But you got the best chance. In some years, boom, a light switch will trip, and you'll get 150 pounds of tomatoes off the plant. Next year, like last year, does it make it a bad plant? No. Does it make it a bad variety? No. Just gardening. It's gardening. So, seed starting. One of the funnest things to do is for seed starting is eggs. Take an egg, crack the top out of it, like you can make a cascarone. Little hole in the bottom, crack the top out, dump the egg out, put a little potting soil in it, of course wash it. And start your seeds in the eggs. It's fun for kids. And so you start them in the little egg shells, and when the plant's up and growing, crack it just a little bit and plant it. Instant calcium. So eggs are fun. Also just the egg tray itself. You can start into little styrofoam containers, various little cardboard containers, poke some little holes in the bottom, fill them up with soil. Start your seeds in that, plant in soil for smaller plants. It's great. Things that we typically start from seed are tomatoes and peppers, eggplants. I wish more people liked eggplant. I don't really care for eggplant. I think it's a beautiful plant. I like it in the garden. Sure, it's pretty. I'll eat a little bit. But peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, things like that are something that we typically start indoors 6 to 8 weeks ahead of time. I'm grateful from the economic standpoint that people will purchase little squash plants and things like that, because I'm growing a bunch of them this year. Very eclectic, deep diversity types of squash plants that are typically done by seed. They're a lot easier, and I do encourage you to grow your own from your own seed. If you don't want to, come buy some plants from me. But we're going to have some, but squash plants, the big seeds, those are the ones that you typically do. Poke them in the ground, no deeper than the first knuckle of your finger. Most people will plant things too deep. No more than 2 to 3 times the depth of the seed.
It doesn't matter where the seeds come from. Now, this catalog I notice is from Maine.
Okay, that is up to us to educate ourselves per variety. Okay, there used to be still is, a company up in the same part of the world, Pine Tree Gardens out of Maine. I used to love Pine Tree Gardens because they had small little seed packages. And almost everything was under $1. I remember going through that catalog as a Christmas gift to my grandparents. I gave them a garden. And I went through it, took 6 packages of that, 6 packages of that, and the bill was like $32.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a pack of seeds that big. You should see my grandfather's eyes roll back in his head. Oh, great. Because I got to plant all this now. This was the old thing, a wise man never plants a garden bigger than his wife can tend. Well, I didn't fly in that house. Didn't fly in that house. So no, but yes, it doesn't matter where the seed comes from, but we need to choose, which varieties for this area. Correct. That's where we need to educate ourselves a little bit. And no seed company is going to exist only marketing to Maine, or only marketing to Florida. So they've got you just pick those varieties that are going to work here. And again, good books will tell you. And again,
Will it tell us?
some of them. It's going to pick 2 or 3. I grow 120 varieties of tomatoes. I wish I could grow 300. And it's one type of thing. We try. It's my job when I was in the retail business. It was my job to try to kill plants. As my guru Bob says, the only way we get to be master gardeners is to kill 1,000 plants. I renew my membership every year. It is my job to try to kill one. And if I can't, then I'll let everybody know. It's survived my test. Your turn. You try to kill it. It's somebody else. And if 3 or 4 or 5 people can't, we got ourselves a good plan. Cherokee Purple stands out. So that's the trick to this stuff. And be willing to trial things. A&M Every year, this is the best tomato on the planet. Next year, this is the best tomato on the planet. Next year, this is the, what happened to the 444? We're going to talk about that. This is the, I'll grow my little persimmon right next to your little whatever. We'll see what happens at the end of the year. Thank you very much. Nothing tastes better than something ripened from your garden. Nothing from the grocery store can ever come close to what you pick from your backyard, from your garden, from your little potted plant on the back porch. And we get into those types of flavors and those things that jar us. The olfactory senses, the strongest things that we have. Worked at a resort ranch, taste buds, things like that can bring things up. And I was chatting with this guy, and he's like, yeah, my grandmother, she had this herb garden. She had a beautiful little herb garden, and I had mixed in flowers and vegetables and all that kind of stuff in this small, tight little space. And we were yakking, and he said, yeah, my grandmother used to have something really like this. And man, she used to make the salad, she'd make the stew, and there was this little plant, and I can't remember what it's called, who knows what it is, but she'd pick a leaf of this, and she'd throw it in there. And there's just that distinct taste I haven't had, since I was 2-3 years old. He would be going on and on and on. I just kind of reached over, like, off a little blade, and said, try this. You can just see. That's it. Sorrel. So those types of things can, have dramatic effects on us. And so, it's a fun thing. So growing your own fresh herbs, your own fresh produce. And again, you've got to have a decent sized garden, 2 4x8s, to produce just about everything you can possibly consume. Maybe a little bit bigger if you want to have a little potato crop or something like that. Definitely bigger if you want to try to grow corn, but that's a little bit different altogether because it takes space for them to cross-pollinate with wind and such.
You're going to get Monsanto.
So throw it in. Rain on my oh gosh. We had the pleasure of having a gentleman from Monsanto come and speak to a garden group a couple years ago. And everybody was very polite, let him finish his presentation. What steps do you take to try to prevent cross-pollination of your GMO modified? What steps do you take to try to prevent cross-pollination from your crops to my crops? Now, those of you enlightened folk know that corn pollen travels across states. What kind of steps can they take? We can put a fence. We can put another trap crop here. We can put another crop here that goes a little foot taller and try to catch them. Sons of bitches. Soybeans. 87-90% of the soil is GMO altered. They've got their hands in everything. So be diligent with good seed companies. Thompson & Morgan. That's where I found my soybean seed from. So there are good companies out there. I don't go far, and I'm willing to be enlightened upon that.